and welcome to my channel and welcome to this video in which we are going to discuss all the pens and empties that I finished up or hit over the last couple of months. I'm supposed to do this 4 times a year. I guess I was supposed to do this in July, but it sort of got pushed away. Anyway, we're doing it now. You know, I'm not doing a project pen at the moment because I found that too restricting. I wanted to use whatever I wanted to use and then see what happened. And in fact, some of these products I've used much more than I ever anticipated, or at least they're going a lot faster than I anticipated. So let's talk about it. Yeah, if you're new here, consider subscribing to my channel. We do a lot of makeup, a lot of fashion, everything fun and colorful. Yeah, subscribe if that sounds interesting to you, and let's get into this quarterly update. So just real quick before we get started, I kind of love my makeup today. I used the Minka palette on my eyes and it just looks so beautiful, I think, especially in these lights. So just wanted to quickly mention that. Also, this necklace, I made a short on it if you want to know where it's from and who's the designer, but I think it's really pretty. So, a lot of pens this period. Let's just go over them. Not a lot of empties though, so I'm not really sure if I should focus a little bit more on those. Couple of foundations that are almost empty but not quite. So let's just start at the base. So this is the Super Base from Makeup Revolution. I actually kind of forgot to use this recently, but for a little while I was using this every day and I did hit pan in it. I think I haven't used this all of July and August. And I bought this somewhere in May, I think. So that's how quickly this is going. It's a pretty nice thick moisturizer. I think it's just because it's summer that I don't really feel like I need it. But it's really nice, and I can imagine this being done by the time I do my final update at the end of the year. Another base product that I'm sure everyone is already sick of, but this is the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm in the shade number 2. And look what happened. It just happened. I thought I was still just getting to know this product, but then all of a sudden I hit pan, and then the pan got bigger and bigger because I use this so much. I use this as a primer, as a foundation, as a powder, as a sort of extra layer underneath concealer. I really use it for everything, and it shows. This is truly a very good product. That's something I was a little bit more surprised by. I hit pan in my Becca under eye corrector. Now, I have been using this quite a bit instead of concealer. I also made a short about that if you want to see it. And I do have this for quite a lot of years. I think for 3 years. So I guess it's not that surprising, but still. It's not the type of product I feel like you go through very quickly. Anyway, now that I've tried the Huda color corrector, I don't think I'd recommend this one. The only thing is, this is very pink. The Huda corrector is very peach. So if you want a true pink one, I think this is nice, but it doesn't really work well underneath concealer because it's too thick and too sticky. It does sort of work on its own, but then your mascara transfers like crazy unless you powder it a lot, which doesn't truly look that pretty with this product. So I think, although this is a staple and a classic, I think there are better ones right now. Still going to try to finish it up, of course. Everything that I hit pan on, I'm sort of ambitious to see how far I can get with actually finishing them up before they go bad. All right, moving into other face products. This one made me sad. This is the Chanel bronzer from last summer, the Le Beige. This is my favorite bronzer, and it shows, but I don't want it to ever be gone. First of all, it was very expensive. I did get it as a present from my mom, but still, it was expensive. And I do use it a lot, so I'm not really surprised. But, you know, the pen is getting pretty big, and if you look at it, you can see that there's actually not a very thick layer of product in here. I do think there's 15 grams in here, so that is quite a big bronzer, but still, it won't last me a lifetime anymore. So the moment I hit pan in this, I just felt a little sad, stopped using it, but now I am using it again and loving it. It's just such a beautiful, natural, subtle bronzer with a light sheen, no glitter or anything, but sort of the effect of a cream bronzer. I think the color is also very similar to what I have on right now, which is the NARS cream bronzer in Laguna 1. I think the colors are very similar. If you like a slightly more yellow toned bronzer and you're very fair, like I am, then this is very flattering. The effect is very similar to what I have right now. You can apply a little bit of this, apply a lot. Why am I going on and on about this? I'm sure you can't even get it anymore, but if you can, I'd recommend it. All right, next. I think this is quite an exciting one. I have this palette from Lethal Cosmetics. I've had it for a couple of years. I guess I do use it off and on quite often, but then all of a sudden I hit pan in the highlighter, and until I got the Noctilucent palette, this was actually my favorite pink highlighter. I still like it. It's actually not even my preferred type of highlighter. It's more of a opaque, less glittery type of highlighter. But I think because it's a little bit deep for me, it's a very nice blush lighter type of thing. So I can put on a little bit of a matte pink blush or this red one, and then put this sort of on top and a little bit higher, and it does look really pretty. So I think that's what I've been doing. I actually haven't been using this for the last couple of weeks either. And I don't really love these two products that much. I think they're too pigmented for me, and the shades are just not that good, and they're very matte. But I do love this highlight. So yeah, I was excited about that one. That's actually not the only highlighter that I hit pan on in the last couple of months. I have two more. So one that you may remember from my videos is this one from NYX. This is from NYX X Fade, the Netflix show. And I love both of these shades a lot, but I evidently love the pink one a little bit more. I think I've just been really into pink highlights. I think all of us are, but I've also been hitting the green one a lot, and I feel like that's very close to hitting pan as well. It's not that much product. Oh, it's 2 times 2 grams, so that's basically like a big eyeshadow. But yeah, still, I have quite a lot of makeup. To hit pan on something is always exciting. This is the type of product I would like to finish up completely at some point, because it is quite similar to my Noctilucent palette, and it's kind of small. I don't really hold a lot of affection towards this product. I wouldn't be really sad if it was gone, and it would be nice to finish something up. So maybe I'll make a mental note of that. I do actually keep a list of things that are close to finishing or close to hitting pan that I might want to focus on. No strings attached, just I have this list. And funnily enough, there are not a lot of things on that list that I actually end up using a lot. It's just, this all happened organically. Then the final highlight is a bit of a cheater, because this is not a highlight, but you've all seen this palette 100 times. First I hit pan on this shade, then I hit pan on the actual highlight. I'm close to hitting pan on a blush. It's small, but still a blush. And now I hit pan on this shade, which I do use as an eyeshadow, but I actually love using it as a highlight as well. It's this beautiful, super sparkly, orange toned highlight. And you don't really see a lot of orange toned highlights that are a little bit lighter that I can use. And this is just the perfect one. So I feel like this will finish up at some point as well. I am truly working on this one as well. I pretty much use this as my go-to bronzer whenever I'm on the go. I just want a quick and easy look. I just want to throw on a little bit of bronzer. I do use this one, but I guess it's going kind of slow. That's fine, it's a nice product. Before we go into the eyeshadow pans, I do want to show you a couple of other eye products. So I finished up this mascara, at least I think I had like 1 use left if I really scrape and scrape, but let's call it finished. This is the Lash Like a Boss from Essence. I do like this mascara. It's not perfect. Some days I love it so much that I don't even feel like wearing lashes, and it truly does the trick. And some days I'm like, yeah, it's very messy and I don't really love it. So, and sometimes it flakes, and I'm not sure when, but sometimes I have all these little crumbs underneath my eyes, and I'm pretty sure it's the mascara. So I'm not 100% convinced. I will try it one more time, I think. Not immediately, but once more. I think I'll go back to the Lash Princess now. Another product that's sort of done, but not quite, is this Too Faced Fluff and Hold Eyebrow Gel, which probably most of you know is my favorite eyebrow gel at the moment. The only one that I've ever tried that does hold my brows. And if I really scrape and scrape and scrape, today I was still able to use it, but it doesn't really have the same effect anymore that it did a month ago. So I think this is due for a replacement. I'm going to get every last little bit out of it, but I think it's just one more use. And in fact, I think I should just buy a new one. But they're quite expensive, so maybe you can help me. Do you know of a brow gel that's just as good as this one, or brow wax? I think waxes are generally better for my brows, because I have very weird brows that aren't very thick, but I guess they're sort of slippery, so they fall down very easily, especially if I sweat, and that still happens with this one. But this is expensive, and I feel like I finished it up in 2 or 3 months, which is too fast for me for an expensive product. If I don't have any alternatives, I will buy this one. Probably I'll buy a couple during Black Friday, but yeah, if you have an alternative for me, please let me know. Similarly, I have this one from Wet n Wild, which has a brow gel and a brow powder. This is the Brow Maximizer, and I love this brow powder, but I don't really use that anymore. I just use the brow gel now. And this brow gel was actually quite similar to the Too Faced one, but I feel like I ran out of it within 3 uses, and I'm not exaggerating. The first use, it was wonderful. The second use, wonderful. And the third use, I felt like I was scraping the sides already. And even though this is way more expensive, way less expensive than the Too Faced one, it was still like $8. And that's a lot for 3 uses. I know I can still use the powder, and I will, but I want a good brow gel. So maybe if you have this one and you know of something similar in a bigger tube, let me know as well, because this one works too. Then I finished up one lash glue. This one is from Queen Tarzi. It's just a regular white one. This used to be my favorite. I think I've converted. I'm now using this one from Duo, the classic. I thought I liked the little brush better, but I do like, there's still enough control with this one. And I can apply a little bit of a thicker layer when I have bigger lashes, so they'll stick better. And I feel like that glue lasts a lot longer, the bottle lasts a lot longer, and it does hold a little bit better. So I don't think I'll be repurchasing this one anymore. Then finally, before we get into eyeshadow palettes, I have a lip empty, an actual empty. And this went super fast as well. There's 2.4 grams in here. This is Biscotti Mommy from Wet n Wild. It's their Rose Comforting Balm. And I love this. I have it in one other shade as well, but I specifically love this one. It's this beautiful pink that's a little bit sheer, but very shiny. It's like just as shiny as this lip gloss, but there's a little bit of color in there. And I truly love this. And I've been using it a lot, so I'm not truly surprised, but still, one doesn't finish up a lipstick that often, and I have only had this for a couple of months. Still, it's an empty. It truly, I scraped what I could scrape, and it doesn't go up anymore. So I was surprised, but it's not that expensive. I could buy it again, but I have other products that I feel like I should finish up first. But I do love this. I highly recommend it, especially this shade. I'm not sure if it'll work if you're a lot deeper, then you should maybe go for a deeper shade, but it's a nice Barbie shade for people like me. So finally, I want to show you 3 eyeshadow pans that I hit, which is quite a big deal for me. The first one is in the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. I do use this palette a lot, but I didn't think I used it that much. But I do use this shade like a lot whenever I use this palette, and that's the shade I hit pan in. And there are more shades that I'm close to hitting pan. This one and this one. I do really like this palette. It's very pretty. It's actually, it would give the same type of look as what I'm wearing right now. Yeah, that was a surprise. And then finally, of course, I feel like I'll show this palette every time. This is Michaela X Glam Light Part 2. First, I hit pan in this shade. I'm expanding the pan. I'm using it sparingly just to make sure that I still have a little bit, but yeah, it's going and going. Now I've also hit pan in the white shade, and that is also expanding. And recently I also hit pan in this beautiful purple shade. And I feel like I'm getting very close in this blue shade as well. This green shade over here, this purple shade, this green shade. And there's a decent amount of product in these pans. But these shades are just so beautiful. And everyone, I think if you know me a little bit, you know that I truly love this palette. If I could pick only one palette, well, it's tough. I would also like to have the Seahorse palette by Glamlight, by Adapt, but I think I would pick this one. So there you have it. Those are all the makeup empties and pans that I hit. I decided to just leave out the skincare and body care and stuff like that. I don't personally care about that, so I'm sure you don't either. So just makeup from now on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you like seeing more of me, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.